Hey, what's up guys? Team Hard Life Captain Alberts are teaching here. This video is a little stranger than what we normally do, but it's the testing that we're all about. So everybody knows we do a lot of Jerry Brown hollow core, and because we deal with a lot of them, we also see the good and the bad. And just because they're the best line that we choose to use is because we've seen the fewest flaws in them, but they aren't perfect. However, they've also done their best to improve the lines. Now, about a year and a half ago, which was last drum season, and right up in there, we got a spool of braid from them, and we were actually breaking off on cast. We're using 100-pound test, and I'm using 6 and 8 ounce weights like I normally do. Well, I was breaking off mid-cast. You know, it backlashed just a hair, just enough, and it was breaking off. So we contacted the company, and we got them notified about it, and we haven't had that problem since. That we were getting 600 yards of 100-pound test line on an LX Raptor. So in that notion, we started doing so many reels and getting so much knowledge on there, I actually forgot, was that 600 yards supposed to be for a full spool of reel, like for kayaking with 100-pound test, or was it at casting range? So today I've been asked a few times, and so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take a refresher course, and what I mean by that is I'm going to down spool an LX Raptor, and I'm going to re-spool it with the 100-pound test, but I'm going to do this a special way. And the reason being because when we spooled an LX Raptor a few weeks ago, or actually it's been about a month, we only got 500 yards, and we did this again. We were thinking maybe it was the coating on, and that was what was reducing my amount of line capacity on the LX Raptor. So what I'm going to do now is I've got the 100-pound and 12 strand of the red, white, and blue, and then I've also got a 12 strand of 100-pound from Jerry Brown, but this line is the one that he says that a lot of guys were having trouble getting 100-pound mono inside of it, so that it would give us our 600 yards for the spool. But here's the thing too, he's doing it by math. He's not actually spooling up the reel. So I've got to test it and find out what is he talking about by 600 yards on there. Is it for casting? Is it for kayaking? That's going to be our test today. What am I going to get on there? Am I going to get my 600 yards, or am I going to get the line capacity with more because we're using that thinner braid that he says he has? So find out. Alright, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to spool up the LX Raptor with the red, white, and blue line of the 12 strand to see where we're at on that, because we've already mic'd it and we have found out where it's supposed to be for that size of line. So now take a refresher course and find out. Spooling up so many reels, I want to make sure I'm still on point with doing that. for a full spool with the LX Raptor with the 100-pound Jerry Brown for kayaking, it is 600 yards. So that tells me that when we do the casting, it's 500 yards, because we'll take off 100 yards, so that way it gives you enough distance to be able to still cast without blowing up your reel. So that proves my 1 point right there. Now the next one is to see about this smaller braid that he said will give me the ability to get over 600 yards for casting. So I'm gonna put it to the test, you know me. The only thing is I don't like these spools because when we attach them to here, we have a drum that has a notch here, or a screw that we have in place to catch the inside housing of your spools. Well, since this one has no real place to attach it to, I've got to download it to another spool, then reload it. So I'm gonna have to take all this line off to reload it back on here and go out and test it. And also test to make sure I'm getting my yardage correct on there. So. Now, so I've got the braid pulled off that small spool, so I can actually attach my line counter as well. That was one of the main reasons why I had to switch over from that small spool to the bigger spool, is because during this test I need to be able to back it up with my line counter. That was the major reason. I could have did it the other way, but I wouldn't have the line capacity count, which ain't what I need. I need to know what's going on here. So a long way, but gotta prove it. Gotta get it backed up here. So. All right, zero out my line counter. Yes, and the needles that we made are still working. I know if y'all have had the chance to try it or anybody has, let us know if they that video helped y'all out. And that was one of the other things too. He was talking about the they were having trouble getting 100-pound mono in here. Well, this needle is actually it's thicker than 100-pound mono, and I seem to be putting it in just fine. So I will definitely get back with Jerry on that one. All right, here we go. So for casting, I got my 500 yards again. So I don't see any real difference in the other size braid they did send us. The only real thing now is to go out and cast it and see if there's any difference there. We haven't had the issue of worrying about that broken braid, but if he's going to send me a new product, I definitely want to go out and test it out again. I want to ensure that whatever products, even though they're new, they come through us, we're going to test them out, especially if it's a new product. Go try it out and see what the deal is. So it's already got the same amount of braid as I got in the old stuff, and even with the different colors of braid over here. And so now it's time to put some line to it and go out and test it. So here we go. There it is, 500 yards with my gap so I can do some casting. So here we go. It's cold, if y'all can't tell. It's a cold one. But I forgot my cold weather gear, but we still have to do this test. Testing out this thinner 100-pound Larry Brown. This is the thinnest line they make for a 100-pound test. So another test day for us. Just to be safe on that one, I cast it with the number 5 MC going on the Abbott Raptor, but I'm going to go ahead and take it down to 4 and see how it does, and then down to 3. I got a good crosswind coming off from the north wind that's blowing in, but throwing it with bait as well, just so I can make sure it's going to go good. So on that cast, I actually got into new braid that I hadn't casted out yet. As you can see, it's all nice and clean. That means I hadn't even reeled it in yet. Well, that cast just went a bit further, as you can tell, even newer line, and it looks like my casts are just getting better and better as I warm up or cool off over here, but it's some mighty nasty conditions out here. I'll give you an idea of what's coming in. You see all the mist rolling in and everything else over here, so Yep, you can barely see Flower Bluff, and I'm only a few miles away, maybe 2 at most. So, yep, nope, I'm impressed with the line already, as I usually am, but I had to come out here and do the test, so thanks again. Taking it down to a 3. So when I had it on a 4, the braid cast it out to here, and now I just took off that whole upper wrap on the taking it down to a 3. So yeah, this is some awesome line. Gotta call it. It's cold out here, friends.